Happy 2025. New year. It's a new year, new me. No, not really, but there is a new intro. Um, Hopefully it's better. Like I've been working on it. I don't know. Give me your feedback because I don't know if I like it. I have like two, and I might try them both, and you guys can tell me which one you like better. But I'm trying to like create a vibe. We don't know. Anyway, hi. My name is Victoria, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to do, I thought that since Valentine's Day is like right around the corner, first specifically from when I'm shooting this, like it's like a week away. I thought that it would be cool to recommend some books, romance stories, but for that are about black love and about black women being loved, because we over here we love that. I will say that like this is the first video I'm shooting. Oh, my camera's crooked. This is the first, I don't know. I feel like my camera's slanted. Sorry. I feel like this is the first video I've shot this year. So like I'm a little nervous because I'm supposed to be on it this year. I promise you guys I'd be more on it. And it's officially February. I was supposed to shoot stuff all January, and you know, life is life's. But without further ado, let's just get into these videos. Let me clip this to my shirt. And hopefully that doesn't even have no technical difficulties, because I tend to have technical difficulties when I use this mic. This is also a new mic, so hopefully the quality is a little bit better. You know, hopefully soon we'll be upgrading the camera. Fingers crossed. Let's get into these videos. So, a lot of these books are authors that I have talked about in other videos, but are also authors that I haven't talked about in other videos that I feel like are starting to get more love. And these are just romance books that are purely sweet stories about love and the different types of love that people experience. Um, Most of them don't have any crazy heartbreak. Maybe like two of them. I feel like two of them is really really get you in an emotional sense. But I feel like everything else here is just a really cute, sweet love story. The first book, I have a bunch of books in front of me, but the first book is one of the books that I've read when I started getting into reading again, which is Instructions for Dancing by Nicolayoon. And I will say this about this book. I love this book. I gave it a 5 out of 5. It's basically about a girl named Eve who she basically doesn't believe in love, because every time she basically gets visions about like people's love stories and about how like their love like started and ended, and she's like, I don't she like and she's watching her parents go through like a messy divorce, and she's like, I don't believe in love, like I don't need this. But then she meets this boy named, sorry, my mom, and she meets this guy named X, and she kind of starts to fall for him. Like he's everything that she kind of like wants in a guy. And she spends a lot of the book deciding if love is worth all the heartbreak that she's seen. And I just love this book. Like, it's beautifully written. I will say this book would definitely have you in your emotions. Don't say I didn't warn you. But it's one of my favorite books that I've ever read. Oh, I feel like I'm really tall. Sorry. It's one of my favorite books that I've ever written, and I recommend everybody that I've ever given this book has both loved this book and has kind of like gotten pulled through the emotional ringer. But it's a fabulous book. And Nicolayoon is the same person that wrote The Sun is a Star and uh everything. So like I was super into this book, and she just knows how to pull on your heartstrings. And she also writes amazing books about black women being loved. So, you know, there's that. But that's this book. Uh, the next book is a book I've talked about before on the show, which is The Neighbor Favorite by Christina Forrest, which is a book that I think it's a really short, little cute, not short, I don't think I'll say short, it's like almost 400 pages, my bad. But it's a cute little story about a shy bookworm who kind of like it's a shy bookworm who like kind of like gets her neighbor to help her get a date. He's the author that she's been anonymously kind of like talking to. And I I talked about the other books with my cousin for. She has one more book coming up this year, and I love these type of books that have like the sister books. Um, the sisters books where they all have their own stories. These stories will never not eat, but this is just a really cute, like simple romance that wasn't like there's like the story really is the romance, and if that's what you want in a book, like this is that book. Honestly, all these books, mostly for the most part, are like very much romance. They do deal with the other dynamics of like family stuff and the other sisters, and her trying to like prove herself and get out of her comfort zone. Obviously, those things super important for a character, to for us to feel for them to feel more human to us. But this book is just very simple love story that like will definitely have you kicking your feet and be like, oh my gosh. This next book, I will be honest with you, do not really remember it. I was like going through my books looking for like really simple, cute love stories. Um, and I remember that I bought this book, which is Excuse Me My Ugly Cry. I have both versions of it. I have this version in this is the UK version. I have this version in the US version, which is like up in my bookshelf somewhere. But this version is so much prettier. Like I'll put a picture of the US version and you can decide for yourself, but obviously better version. And this is written by Joya Goffrey, I think. I hope I pronounced that right. Joya Goffrey. In this book, I had to pull the back off because I could not remember the premise of this book at all, and I thought I did. And then I started reading. So basically, it says about a girl named Quinn who keeps a list of everything from the days that she ugly cries to the things that she won't admit out loud and all the boys she likes to kiss. And the list, like her list, keep her kind of sane, very Jane the Virgin-ish, I guess. Um, but she writes all her fears on paper, and then one day she gets like an anonymous uh post. There's an anonymous post for one of the lists on her journals on Instagram, and the whole school sees it, and basically this person is blackmailing her to like confront her like 7 fears that she has. Um, and she absolutely doesn't know who to trust. It's a little bit of mystery, but it's a lot more romance in it. Um, and she basically teams up with Carter Bennett. Carter Bennett, the last person to have her journal, and they essentially like track down they basically try to track down the blackmailer. And it is a very sweet romance that celebrates the joy of being authentic and loving yourself and kind of just coming into it. And there's a lot of the two characters both have a lot of really good chemistry, and it's a really like fun, like if I wanted to get out of a slump or I just wanted to read something different from what I normally read, this is a book that like I would recommend to someone who wanted something like that. Also, I did find the other book, and you can look at the difference. The next book is The Princess Trap by Talia Taliahibbert, which, if you don't know, she was one of my first like auto buy authors. Oh my god, there's a fly in my room. But she was one of my first auto buy authors. I love this woman so much. I don't think this woman has ever written a bad book. And maybe that's just me. I think I'm biased. I think I'm always biased though when it comes to like black women who write books. It's very rare that they write bad things. But this book is amazing, one of my favorite books that I've ever read. Um, it's about a girl named Cherry who's like very basically done with men. She ends up accidentally meeting like a prince of some country, and paparazzi catches them together, and basically the prince's like whole reputation is like not great, so his like team convinces him to date her, and in order to get his like reputation back up, and so they fake date, and he like takes her back to his country. It's very much giving uh whatever Bridget's book, I can't remember, Lies, Twisted Love, I don't know, whatever Bridget's book was. in the Swiss series, it's kind of giving that, except it's not like a bodyguard thing. It's kind of more of like a fake dating thing. So it has kind of the same feel to it. I will say that this book does contain trigger for like domestic violence, but I don't think it's really crazy. I think it's just a trigger just to be there. Like I don't remember it being super crazy, so I think it just was there to be there. On the next book, which is Love Radio by Ebony Ladell, Ladella, Ladelli, Ladelli. I hope I pronounced that right. And this book is about a guy named Prince Joan who has his own radio segment that's all about giving relationship advice called like Love Radio. And he's like always he loves love and he's always dreamed about falling in love. Um, but he doesn't think it possible with his current. He's like the current caretaker for his mom, and he spends all his time, doing his radio show to take care of his mom, and he doesn't think he'll find love until he meets Danny, which is our main female character. And she's basically like focusing on her senior year. This is a high school romance. I feel like I should specify this high school romance. Her whole thing is like she's planning on focusing on her senior year. She's just trying to complete everything, get her college stuff in order, and graduate, and start on her life plan. Her dream is basically to become a writer, and she's currently having a hard time writing her college essays, and she thinks it has something to do with an incident that happened a few months prior. The two end up meeting and conversing, and he tries to help her get over her block while he's actively like falling in love with her. He's very much he fell first type of way, and the book is a lot of just trying to convince her to like fall in love, trying to get her to like to just get him to like her in a romantic, just to get Danny to like him in a romantic setting. And it's just a really cute, like straightforward romance. It's sweet. It celebrates Black love in a way that I feel like all of these books celebrate Black love in a way, but it's just a book that I adored from like the beginning to end, and it's definitely very swoon worthy. Like it's very cute. I mean, all these books are cute, but this is very swoon. This is a very straight up romance. Next is another taliahibbert book, which is Get a Life, Chloe Brown. Again, whole series, the Brown Sister series. I will talk about it all day. Favorite series that she has ever written. I don't think she could ever write a series like that I would love more than the Brown Sister series. But this is the first book in the series called Get a Life, Chloe Brown. And it's basically about Chloe who is like a chronically ill like computer geek, goes in a list after almost dying. She comes up with like 7 things to help her get her life, and to finally move past her, like be more adult and on her own and independent. And she basically meets Red, who is like the handyman. But she basically enlists him to help her complete her list. And really cute love story. It has a good sense of like humor. It's very charming. The banter between both characters, honestly, the book in any area book is amazing. But the banter in this book specifically, because I remember reading the banter in this book, it was so good. And the two characters are just so adorable and fun and sweet. And like honestly, Red is not my favorite guy. Like honestly, we're talking. My favorite book is the second book, but I do think that, and these are obviously standalones. But I do think this series is so good that you have to read it in order. And so the first book is the book I'm recommending. Okay, so this last book is an author I've already talked about before, but it's Rose by Kennedyryan. One of my favorite authors. You're gonna hear me talk about her all day, every day. This is a Kennedyryan stan account, obviously. Rose is about a girl named Navia whose dreams of being like an actor and getting her moment, and like she basically was like an understudy until one night the main person becomes sick and she gets the opportunity to be front and center. Meets Conan, who is our male love interest. He's like a famous director who like it's basically love at first sight. Like he sees her in this play and he falls in love with her, and then she in her corner ends up, he thinks that she's a fabulous actor and he ends up casting her in this like Harlem Renaissance biopic. It kind of like leads her into her stardom, like, and it's just a really sweet love story. I will say this is the other book that is very like, it will have you tugging on your heartstrings. It's very emotional, but what Kennedyryan book isn't. This book, I will say, I recommend, always recommend every Kennedyryan book with like a grain of salt. Just like mentally prepare yourself. But this, I feel like, is one of the the softer books. Like, it deals with topics a lot less heavier than some of the other books. But it has a lot of realism and it feels like very real black love without getting into too many stereotypes or going over the board. And I think that this book just does a fantastic series, a fantastic job of doing it. Honorable mention to Terms and Conditions and the Revive series by J.L. Seeger. I just don't feel like pulling them on my bookshelf, but honorable mentions about those books because those books are great books about Black women being loved. But that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you like the recommendations that I gave you. Obviously, I didn't give a lot. I just wanted to give you a few because I feel like I'm making my videos too long, and I think that it's better for me to try to keep this down, because my attention span is not 35 minutes. I don't know how you guys are doing 35-minute videos. So that's pretty much all I have for today. But thank you for watching today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please let me know about any other book recommendations you have. What's your favorite Black love story? Have you read any of these books? Please let me know. If you want to keep up with the content that I don't post on YouTube, you can follow my Instagram, my TikTok, if that's still around by the time I post the video, because we got an extension, but for how long, really? And mainly just go follow my Instagram, but I will put my TikTok and my Instagram on the screen so you can go follow both. Please like and comment if there's something you're interested in. If not, I appreciate you watching this video. Please if you can, though, interact with it, because that's how the algorithm knows that you like the content, that people are liking the content, and then I know what you guys like and don't like. But I'll see you guys next time. Bye.